Welcome to the IVF Abroad podcast for people who are struggling with infertility and trying to conceive, and who are facing more obstacles than options when it comes to having fertility testing or treatment in their home countries. Alongside other experts, I will share, educate and empower you on your journey and help you to learn more about going abroad for advanced fertility testing and treatments like IVF and egg donation. I'm Emma Haslam, your host, now mum of one, and the go-to expert in fertility treatment abroad. Since the birth of our son in 2018, I have made it my mission to make fertility treatment more informed, transparent, accessible, supported and affordable for more people. And I help people just like you to become unstuck, to find a best fit clinic that truly meets their needs, and to have fertility treatment on their terms and timescales so they can achieve their dreams of growing their families. And I'm here now to help you too. Be sure to check out the free resources in the show notes for more help after listening to today's episode. Hey, welcome back. So, this week's episode is all about the step-by-step process to having fertility treatment abroad. Because if you are considering or planning to have your fertility treatment abroad, then there is absolutely a step-by-step process that you need to follow. And I know this because I have been through fertility treatment abroad myself 4 times. And over the last 6 years, I've helped hundreds of people to research plan and have their fertility treatment abroad. And so I have seen pretty much it all, I would say. And I have been able to develop a process of working with people step by step to help to keep them safe, to help them to find the right clinic for them in the right country for them, to help them to save money, to help them to be guided, supported, to understand what is happening at each stage, the highlights, the watch outs, and how to look after themselves and like everything in between. And this step-by-step process, if you follow this, it's going to help you to conceive abroad more confidently, safely, calmly, and save you a lot of money, time, and emotional energy, which I think are all really worth saving. Now, if you listen to this podcast episode, you might be undecided about going abroad still for your fertility treatment. So it's going to help you probably just by understanding how the process works in a bit more detail. Or perhaps you decided you do want to go abroad, but you feel overwhelmed at the thought, like where to start. You're very clear and understand that you don't know what you don't know, and you want to know what you need to know, and you should know what you should know these things in advance, and that's why you're here. Or you perhaps have started the process and you're like, yeah, actually, maybe there are things that we need to learn first. So whatever your reason for being here, you are so welcome. And this episode will be helpful to you because I always think you need not always more information, but you need the right information, not scattered information from all over the internet. And I say that with love, but we all know that we all get stuck sometimes or lost in endless Google searches, like submitting multiple clinic inquiry forms and then reading conflicting advice, getting stuck down Google rabbit holes, and then just ending up paralyzed, not moving forwards at all. Or we're blasé and we carry on until we hit a stumbling block. And then we're like, oh no, now what do we do? And I don't want that for you because it shouldn't be like that. Like having fertility treatment is already really difficult and overwhelming. So let's make the abroad bit as easy as we can for you. If you follow this process, it's going to really, really help you. And I'm going to walk you through it at a high level. And this is the process I use every time with my clients to plan their fertility treatment abroad. So it's the research, the planning, the having, and the after parts as well. And if you want the full detailed version of this with all of the resources, then I'm going to share with you how you can get that for a short time too. So why does having a process matter? I've touched on this slightly already, but having a process matters because it means you can follow a map. Now, of course, all of our journeys are different, but there are lots of common themes. There are definitely still the same sections apply to everybody. You've got to do your research. You've got to understand the process. You've got to find a country that will treat you and that is safe and ethical and that you can afford to have your treatment in and that you can get to. And then you've got to find a clinic that is right for your needs, your medical needs, your personality, your care needs, your budget. And then you've got to plan your treatment and have your treatment and know what to get where and what to do when. And then you need to know what to do next, depending on whether or not your treatment works. So that's a clear process that people go through. And so I've been able to map this out for you step by step to reduce time, to reduce overwhelm, to save you money and to save you energy. You do not need, and I can't stress this enough, you do not need lots of scattered information from lots of different sources. It will slow you down. You're potentially looking at inaccurate information as well. You've got to be really careful. Some of the stuff that I see out there is complete and utter nonsense. So you need a step-by-step proven plan and framework that has been followed by hundreds of other people who have had lots of success and have been able to go abroad and to conceive successfully, safely, and calmly. So my framework is around kind of 5 key areas. And the first area is, well, to understand the process of how your chosen fertility treatment works abroad. Because this just helps to really solidify it in your mind. And if you are unsure about whether or not to have your fertility treatment abroad, then that's going to really help. So you need to understand what you're potentially signing up for, how it works, the highlights, the watch outs. What do you need to know? And kind of what happens when typically as well. Then super, super, super important, you need to clarify your needs, your wants, your non-negotiables. I will die on this hill. If you've listened to this podcast for a while, you've heard me say this before, but it is so important that you get clarity on your needs for your unique situation. Be that medical, your support needs, your financial needs. If you're having donor conception, the things that you need to consider for that. When you can nail this down, it will really help you when then moving forward to the next phase in the process, which I think is really important that this comes before you start to even think about looking at a clinic's website. You need to be thinking about which country first, because you need to make sure that you understand how the laws work there, how things are ethically in that country. Is it a safe country? What do the costs look like for the treatment that you need in that country? Do they even offer that treatment that you're looking at in that country? And do they offer it to people like you? When I say that, some countries don't offer fertility treatment to people when it gets to a certain age. People in certain situations, maybe you're single, maybe you're in a same-sex couple. So you don't want to get really invested in a particular clinic to only find out once you start talking to the clinic that actually you can't have the treatment that you're looking for in that country, or maybe you can't afford to have the treatment there, or maybe actually it isn't a particularly safe or reputable country in which to have your fertility treatment. And by doing this as well, it'll help you to narrow down on countries, which will then help to narrow down on the clinics that you're going to look at. But once you've done this and understand what your needs are, and you understand the countries where you can have your treatment and where you would like to have your treatment and you can get to and you can afford to have the treatment there, then it's going to be easier to start to look at finding the right clinic for you. And you need to understand what to look at beyond success rates and, beyond glossy websites where every clinic out there is going to tell you that they're the right clinic for you. And that's just not the case. So by being really clear on your needs, It's going to help you really work out which clinics are and are not right for you in the destination and the country that you have chosen to look at. Once you've done that, you then need to understand what happens next in terms of how to plan and have your fertility treatment abroad. When do you book your travel, your accommodation? Where do you get your medication from? Because let me tell you, by shopping around for your medication, you can save an absolute fortune. You know, you can expect to spend anything from between £400-500 to £2,500 for having fertility treatment in terms of the medication costs, which is a lot of money. But actually, if you can save money on this, then, you know, that can make a huge difference if you know how to save hundreds of pounds on your medication. And then there's things like the testing that you might need in order to go ahead and have your consultations at the clinic in order to have your fertility treatment. So thinking through the logistics, thinking through the options around the amount of time you spend away from home and what some of the options might be around that. Similarly, what the options might be around getting testing and where do you go to get the things that you need. And thinking about these things in advance and understanding at what point and when to book things like your travel and accommodation so that you don't potentially waste time and money. And then the last part of my process is thinking about the support that you need before, when preparing for your treatment, during treatment, you know, maybe it's emotional support, but then also afterwards, if it doesn't work first time, but also if it does work first time, and understanding and thinking about what you need to do in either of those situations. I speak to so many people who try to DIY having fertility treatment abroad without any guidance, and then they come across something that they weren't expecting because you don't know what you don't know. And then they are stuck, they are stressed, they are overwhelmed. And it's an awful situation to be in and one that can be avoided, because if you've got the right plan, then it becomes manageable because you know what to expect and you can plan ahead. That in itself is going to save you so much time, energy, and money. Inside my Conceive Abroad course, I take you through each of these steps in detail. You get my vetted resources, including my little black book of contacts, which will give you everything, all of the contacts that I know, which can help you to go through this process successfully so you know where to go to shop around for your medication. That alone will save you the cost of this course, okay? And you'll know where to go and get a scan, where to get a semen analysis, where to go and have acupuncture if that's what you're looking for, to work with a nutritionist, a donor conception counsellor. It is all in there. So you have everything that you need to know to make this happen for you, to make it happen more smoothly, to conceive abroad with more confidence, calm and safely, to protect your peace. This is everything that I've learned in the last 8 years in one course, and it's a really cost-effective way of getting my guidance. Now, currently the course isn't on sale. It's the 8th of September 2025. If you're listening to this in real time, the course is going to go on sale in the next couple of weeks, and doors will open for a very short period of time. So if you're interested in finding out more about the course, and if you would like to take advantage of the early bird offer, then you can click the link that is in the show notes. And if you decide to go ahead and purchase the course from the early bird waitlist, when that comes out in the next couple of weeks, you will get £100 off. So it's absolutely worth putting yourself on there. Then you can get all of the information about the course and how it works. But, you know, this has been created, the course has been created to offer people a lower cost way to work with me to get my guidance. And as I said, by shopping around for your medication, that alone can save you the cost of this course. So it means that you don't have to do this by yourself. You don't have to try and figure all this out, because I've figured it out for you. And then you can save the time, the money and the emotional energy. And you can't actually put a price on having that peace of mind, because this is too important to mess up. You want to do things properly. You need to do things safely. You need to find the right clinic for your needs. And I'm going to take you through everything that you need to know. And you can complete the whole course. It's instantly available when you buy it in under 4 hours and step by step. So it's really nice, digestible video content that will tell you exactly what you need to do. Because honestly, because I've been there, going abroad without a process, without this information will feel overwhelming. And you don't want to be Googling and getting more scattered information. You need to be told exactly what to do at each step, which this roadmap will do. And then you can see that it can become really achievable. Because I want you to go abroad and have your fertility treatment if it's right for you. And I want you to do it safely, calmly, confidently. I want you to have the best results. And I want you to protect your time and your peace and your money and your emotional energy as well. So as I said, the Conceive Abroad course isn't open right now, but it will be very soon this month. And you can join that wait list and save £100. Then you'll be the first to know when the doors open, and you can get instant access if you decide to sign up. There is also a 7-day money-back guarantee as well, because I want you to feel confident come into this course that it will give you everything that you need if you're planning to have your fertility treatment abroad in mainland Europe. I will drop the link in the show notes for you to join the waitlist with no obligation. If you have any questions at all about the course, then feel free to drop into my Instagram DMs and send me a message or a voice note, and I will come back to you. But I'm really excited that the course is coming back out for you because it has helped so many people, and it's a way to work with me at a fraction of the price of my one-to-one. So go ahead, join the waitlist, and I will speak to you soon, my friends. Bye. If you are facing more obstacles than options and want to learn more about how to overcome your fertility testing and treatment challenges in your home country so that you too can fast track to growing your family and on your terms, then check out my free training at yourivfabroad.co.uk/free masterclass. Don't forget to rate and subscribe so you don't miss an episode and so that I can reach and help more people. Thanks for listening.